Chennai.
Chennai.
I object to your objection.
There we go. Mine went live, cool. Alright.
Hello!
Hello!
How are you, Shroom?
It's been 2 months since Maya left the office. 2 months without a single trial. I've had offers, but none I took. That is, until the day that girl showed up. May 2nd, in 2 a.m., right in company law offices. Why do I come here to the office every day?
Oh, really?
Oh, Jesus. Well, this might be a...
We're gonna be here a while.
Yeah. It's not like I want to work. There you are, finally. Where have you been? My sister's trial is tomorrow. Who are you? Doesn't matter who I am. It only matters who you are. The famous defense attorney, Mia Fey.
Mia died. Where you been?
Oh, yeah, I think I did play through this one, if I remember correctly. Because the original Phoenix Wright was for, wasn't it only in Japan and the GBA? You're not Mia Fey, are you? I'm sorry, but Miss Mia Fey no longer works here. So you are the coffee boy? I'm Phoenix Wright, a defense attorney. Right. Wait! You're the Phoenix Wright? The Phoenix Wright from the Edgeworth murder case? Yes, that's correct. It wasn't Edgeworth who was murdered, though.
Having issues.
Well, you need to get rid of the nails.
Yeah, I know.
That's a relief, then. You're better than nobody.
It's...
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I'm not taking cases right now. But you are Phoenix Wright, right? The undefeated defense attorney? Look, I'm not accepting any new cases. I'm sorry, but you'll have to try elsewhere. Please! I'm out of time. But please, you have to help. It's my sister. Maya, could it be? Okay, I'll hear you out. Really? Thank you so much. My name's Emma Skye. I'm a scientific investigator. Scientific investigator? Oh, is it? So you're a scientific investigator? Yes, that's right. Is something wrong? No, it's just you seem kind of jumpy. Or maybe just young. Young? I'll be 16 years old this year. Oh, I see. Wait, only 16? I'm set to be formally assigned to forensics in 3 more years. My work is becoming quite well known, at my age, no less. So what exactly is your current position, then? Well, legally speaking, I guess you called me an 11th grader. But I'm ready to do my job, at my age, no less. Great, another future professional in training. What's this about a case? You said the trial's tomorrow? My sister didn't do it. She wouldn't stab someone with a knife, she wouldn't. So, it's a murder case. I don't care if there's a witness who saw her do it. She didn't do it. I know she didn't do it. It's a scientific fact. And there's a witness. Just talk to her. You have to talk to her. Right, I suppose I will. Promised her I'd bring Mia Fey, but that's interesting. How would she know Mia? Do you want to be a scientific investigator when you grow up then? Excuse me? I'm not a child, I'll have you know. Still, it's good to have a goal, albeit a very unusual one. I believe investigations should be done scientifically. Don't you? Yeah, sure can't falter for a lack of enthusiasm. If this case is handled scientifically, I'm sure my sister's name will be cleared. Your sister? I've been doing research, you know. I'm developing a new scientific method of case investigation. I'll show you when I'm done. I'm looking forward to it. Guess I should get down to the detention center and talk to her sister. My sister asked me for Mia specifically. This Mia Fey person was a few years below her in school. So they went to the same school, huh? She always told me to go to Mia if I ever needed a defense attorney. And well, I need one. Incidentally, Mia is a woman. Now that you mention it, I guess it is more of a woman's name than a man's. Well, it's nice of you to help your sister out like this. You must be close. Well, actually, when she gets like she is now, I kind of hate her. Huh? But she's my only family. Your only family? What about your parents? They died in a car accident when I was little. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait a second. Detention center visitors room. Wonder what's wrong with Emma. Got quiet all of a sudden as soon as we arrived. Guard, I thought I told you I didn't want any visitors. Sorry, ma'am. Just your sister. No excuses. Or did you not want to raise this year, Understood, ma'am. What was that all about?
What?
Hi, Lana. Funny. I seem to remember specifically telling you not to come here. Perhaps my memory is failing? Look, I didn't want to come here either, okay? But your trial's tomorrow and you still don't have a defense attorney. I'll be the one in court tomorrow. This has nothing to do with you, Emma. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Hey! How do you know me? Mia mentioned you. I've heard quite a bit. I'm sorry. What exactly is it that you do? My name is Lana Sky. I'm chief prosecutor for this district.
Oh.
You're a prosecutor?
Soon she would have known Mia died.
I think so. Two sisters, one a lawyer. Could this be a coincidence? Emma and Lana, they're just like... Something wrong, Mr. Wright? Something you should know from the start. Which is... The suspect in this case has confessed to the crime. Huh? Wait, but the suspect is... Me. I did it. Well, Mr. Wright? Well, why don't you begin by telling me exactly what happened? Crime took place yesterday, February 21st at 5:15 p.m. That is fast to get a trial.
No.
That's quite specific. It was in the witness's deposition. A witness clearly saw me committing the crime. That was a bit of bad luck, wasn't it? Crime took place in the underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Body was found in the trunk of my subordinate's car. Prosecutor's office, huh? Your subordinate's car? Trunk? Classy.
Oh, okay.
I was arrested on the spot, caught red-handed, as it were. Well, that's just great. So who was the victim? An investigator with the police department. I suppose the correct term is detective. A detective? Death was due to loss of blood. He was stabbed once in the stomach. By you? Death wasn't immediate, but the wound was fatal. I see. Allow me to repeat myself, Mr. Wright. Victim was a detective. You know what that means, don't you? Uh-oh. What, Mr. Wright? What does it mean? Well, it means the police department will consider it a matter of pride to have me found guilty. They will use any means at their disposal to do so. This case gets worse and worse with everything I learn. So you're the chief prosecutor? That is correct. I'm responsible for overseeing every trial handled by the prosecutors in this district. Frame a prosecutor for murder that passed on to the future. Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
Especially with people who are very prideful. Make sure the prosecutors have what they need to do the job. I manage every aspect. Those are my responsibilities in a nutshell. It's an awfully large nutshell. Still, I'm a little surprised. I would think you'd recognize the district's chief prosecutor, Mr. Wright. Huh? In fact, it seems impossible you wouldn't. Lana? What happened to your hand? Oh, this? I cut myself by accident. When I stabbed him, that is. Huh? I'm not very good at being a criminal, I suppose. How am I supposed to defend this? Time to change the subject. Wait, she was in the class ahead of Mia, wasn't she? You were in school with Mia, correct? A few years above her? Emma told you that too, did she? Well, why not? I did drag him all the way here from his office. Although it seems he has very little in common with Mia. Hey, it was in law school. I was in my 3rd year and she was auditing the class. She was different than the other students. Different? She was strong. She'd do anything to become a defense attorney. Anything. That was probably why she was attracted to me. Excuse me? Intellectually attracted. Lana was top of her class in school. Yeah, Sappho and her friend. I was the best there was. Oh, I'm doing pretty good in school, by the way. Sounds a bit different when Emma says it. Well, Mr. Wright? Excuse me? As you can plainly see, I am admitting my guilt. I think it's safe to say there's no way you can take this case. None. Lana! Why? Why are you doing this to me? You never think of anyone but yourself. I know you didn't do it, Lana, I know. So how can you say you did? If I lose you, I'll be all alone. I hate you, Lana. Mr. Wright? Yes? I believe our discussion here is ended. The rest, I leave to you. You mean you're requesting my services as your defense? Don't lose any sleep over it. Your client has confessed after all. The case is over. Right. I'll do what I can to get to the bottom of this. Lana has confessed to the crime, yes. Something doesn't fit. It's that look in Emma's eyes. Something else going on here, and I'm going to find out what. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. Huh? About what? My sister. She's not always like that, you know. I just never expected to be defending another prosecutor again. She's changed a lot. She used to be so gentle, always smiling. Everybody liked her. I see. Sorry, but I'm having trouble imagining that. What happened to her? I don't know for certain myself. I think maybe she... well, maybe not. Sounds like there's something that defies a simple scientific explanation. Go check out this underground parking at the prosecutor's office, shall we? Oh, okay. More to talk about. February 22nd, prosecutor's office, underground parking lot. So this is the lot where it all happened. Looks like they're still investigating. Funny that my first visit to the prosecutor's office should be like this. Hey everyone, keep up the good work! Hey, what are you thinking? Well, they are going to be my co-workers 3 years from now, after all. No harm in saying hello. Actually, there is. You know, attorneys aren't supposed to examine crime scenes. I'm trying not to stand out too much here, see? Hey there! You're expecting to go unnoticed here, partner? Partner? What do we have here? Looks like a bambina got loose from the ranch and is up to no good. Folks gotta learn to keep them doggies tied down, partner. Mr. Marshall! Marshall looks more like a sheriff to me. Looky here, Bambina. I know how you feel. But this is my gang's gold strike, see? Strike? This is our claim, our territory, with a motherload of evidence. If you're fixing to mess with what's ours, you'll regret it, partner. You know what dreams the cacti out in the desert dream? You want to? What's this guy talking about? You head along home now. Happy trails, Bambina. Was he just drinking? Is that a hombre, a friend of yours? Kinda, sort of. Yeah, he's a detective. who thinks he's a sheriff from the Wild West, it seems. Oh, no, I want to do this. Aha! A ladder! That's a step ladder. What's the difference in scientific terms, please? Seriously, I kind of just want to imagine him being Tex. Nope. Ain't gonna happen. That's who I should put on for sound clips.
Tex.
Nope.
Nope.
No problem. Scientific, huh? Look at the basic nature of things, Mr. Wright. This all seems so horribly familiar somehow. I keep pressing the wrong button. Look, a door! This must mean something. I'm not sure that doors mean anything. No, it won't open. A mysterious lock. I fail to see what's mysterious about it. Mr. Wright, you need to learn to enjoy life more. Let's finish our investigation first, shall we? What's this? A wallet? Excuse me, officer. Wait! What are you doing, Mr. Wright? What am I doing? I just found this wallet, so I'm handing it over to the police. I don't believe it. This is real basic. Anything at a crime scene is evidence. Let's be scientific about this, please. Just put it in your pocket. No.
No.
How is that scientific? Sounds like theft to me. What is he turning into Nancy Drew? Wallet hastily stuffed into pocket. Called to duty already, and at my tender age. Here, I'll teach you the trick to examining evidence in detail, okay? By the way, her eyes are sparkling. I can tell she's been waiting for this. Okay now. Look at the court record. Ooh, now we get 3D stuff. You have to be sure to examine evidence carefully on all sides. Now let's start examining from every angle. Oh look, I think there might be a clue here. You should check it out with the press of enter. This is an ID card. Sergeant Bruce Goodman. Of course he's named Bruce Goodman. ID number 5842189. See? Well, isn't scientific investigation useful? I guess, though I don't see what science has to do with it. Goodman's ID added to the court record. Be sure to examine every piece of evidence we find. I guess I've got to be on my toes from now on. Oh, they so they took the idea and threw the wallet away. No, nothing. Okay. Here, a phone. Let's see if it works. Hey, don't touch stuff we don't need to be touching. I can't hear anything. My ears! No, my ears! Maybe it's due to the barometric pressure. What is she babbling about? Hey, what did you just say? See, you can hear just fine. The phone's broken. This wall is in our way. It's got a faucet for water. Wait, I know. This wall is merely a facade hiding the truth. This is no wall, but a water tank. I fail to see how it makes any difference either way. Oil drum. Looks like it's filled with water. It's heavy. I can't even budge it. Drum over here is on its side. Wait, I know. I'll hide in here and do a stakeout. Oh, kids. I think you'll probably just get arrested. In fact, you may not even have to hide in the drum to get arrested. What? I'm not suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Ooh. Well, no time to waste. Let's get hunting for clues. I wonder what this is. Well, partner, looks like you got no intention of going home quietly. Yeehaw! Like I said before, this here's our claim. You'd best be moseying along, unless you're fixing to bite the bullet. Gah, scary. Could you just tell us one thing? Who owns that car? Is he drinking? Well, little Philly's got a good nose on her. You want to know who rides that red Mustang with a body in their saddle, eh? Please. No problem, partner. About time for victuals anyway. Get yourself to the saloon up on the 12th floor of the prospector's office. Might just find you a cerveza you like. Prospector's office? Where does this guy think he is? And when, for that matter? Note to self. Look up Vittles Saloon Cerveza. Maybe we should check out room 1202, the High Prosecutor's office. In any case, stay away from the car. You can look around here all you like, just keep your paws off our claim. Right, great. Great, maybe there are some clues around here, Mr. Wright. Let's check it out. Excuse me? Were you two all set? Us?
Oh.
She got rice cakes on her hat. What's this? She couldn't be. You're selling lunches? Here? This is a crime scene. Hello, half and half, was it? Oh, thanks. And you, sir? Yes? Some crunchy goodness coming at you. Thanks. Interesting way of doing business. This area is off limits to anyone without clearance, especially passerbys. Or are you officers? No, but you don't exactly look like the type to have clearance. Well, that's hardly a way to greet someone. Even if my days as the cough-up queen are over. Cough-up? Huh? You know, I'm feeling kind of full. Maybe I'll pass on the lunch. Quite connected to this case, you see. I remember the necklace. So yeah, I've played this case before. The images are burning my eyes. Oh, she's a witness. You might say, yes, all the sordid secrets. Secrets? Dear me, you are a slow one, aren't you? I'm referring to the murder, the stabbing of that detective. What? The witness clearly saw me committing the crime. You mean you're the witness my sister was talking about? Please, cough up, Queen. Tell us what happened. Name is Angel Star. Don't you go forgetting it. Or before you know it, I'll have you whimpering at my heels. Yes, man. Yikes, she means it. Yep, anyway. Somehow, I knew. Yesterday was a day of destiny. I knew something was going to happen. Just like I know that the daily special on Friday every week is salmon. Destiny? Was yesterday's special for some reason? You're a defense attorney, right? You should know that. You should know the foul misdeeds of the evil ones who haunt this den of inequity. Always the people who speak so fancy. Evil ones? Prosecutors! They have no qualms at all about blackening the name of innocence. Yesterday they paid homage to the most evil one of all. They gave an award for King of Prosecutors. What a farce. So she's saying there was some sort of prosecutors convention yesterday. I was almost compelled to lace their lunches with something foul. She got a bone to pick with prosecutors. You have a personal grievance against prosecutors or something? Or is there some kind of scientific evidence of this, evil? Young miss, mock me at your own risk. You'll soon find out why they call me the cough-up queen. Ew! Most heinous of all the evil ones, the one they awarded yesterday. It was in his car that they found the body. Proof that he devours the evilest lunches of all. Really? Really what? I'm totally confused. One thing's clear, this lunch lady has a thing against prosecutors. Lunch lady land! So what exactly is it that you witnessed, Miss Starr? It was a fascinating spectacle, to be sure. I now feel what they say when they talk about a woman's wrath. To see Lana Skye wield that knife so. Her knife flash in anger, bringing him to a sad end. It's truly a sight to see. You mean you saw the very moment of the crime? The sound of his silvery ties to this world being cruelly cut still rings in my ears. And the rhythmic beat of Lana Skye's knife. Wait a second, you know Lana Skye? Of course. It's quite a feat becoming chief prosecutor. How many lunchboxes of sin did she pack to make that journey, I wonder? She always travels light. Now, why would this pretty lunch lady know the chief prosecutor's name? Could we ask you a bit about yourself, Miss Starr? Come here every day to sell lunches. I import only the freshest and best from the Far East. For some reason, the box lunches are a hit here. Why not make the lunches here rather than import them? Did you say something? No. Only true connoisseurs can understand. The kind you can only tell someone who has tried General Tso's trilobite lunch set. Never mind, you win. Don't even want to appreciate part of a trilobite's flavor. Anyway, I come here every day to sell lunches. My boyfriend works in the security room here at the prosecutor's office. That's a red flag. Your boyfriend? See the security room over there? The glass-walled booth? I sell my lunches, and since I'm here anyway, I drop by to see him. Better than the choke queen, true. Since you're here anyway, I guess selling lunches is more important than romance. So to scientifically analyze the data available so far, you, Miss Star, are a lunch vendor with an ulterior motive for coming here. Useful analysis. Nod. Did you have a bad experience with a prosecutor, Miss Star? I sense some hostility. Hostility? Ha! Perhaps. Prosecutors are all alike. The bigger they are, the worse they smell. Kind of like 10-day-old clams in the chowder. I wonder if Miss Star was involved in some sort of legal trouble in the past. That'd be a sure cause of food poisoning, scientifically speaking, of course. I mean, now you're talking, cough up queen. I thought she was just a lunch vendor, but now I'm not so sure. Oh. No, I didn't want to... Oh, I have to press a different button now. E. Defense attorney must be able to fight. How about you? Do you think you can win? How about tackling Lunchland's Pickle Supreme lunchbox? Wow, it's really crunchy. Box of pickles? Kind of a sad lunch if you ask me. Alright. High Prosecutor's Office. February 22nd, High Prosecutor's Office. Room 1202. Oh, we see stuff from a bunch of different cases. This is the kind of room that just screams, I can do the job. Quite a change from your office, really. Thanks. Look, look! There's a trophy or something here. Trophy? Wait, that shield. It takes real nerve to display stuff like this. Whoever's office this is, they must be a real stuck-up jerk. Phoenix, right. You never tire of prying into other people's business. Why does that face have a cravat? Oh, it might be behind her. That voice. It's Edgeworth! Yay! Long time no see, Edgeworth.
Oh yeah, look at the.
Oh, that?
Look at the thing on the wall. The picture over here, the shirt. Yeah.
What?
That should have given it away.
Yeah, but this is her office.
Oh.
Huh? Ah! Mr. Edgeworth! Is that called a cravat?
I don't know.
I'm not fancy. Is that the cravat, the white thing? Because that's just weird anyway.
Yeah.
Know him from somewhere? Of course. I'm his biggest fan. My sister introduced us once and...
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Cool. Well, at least now I know something new. I used to call them white fluffy things. That hoity-toity people wore when they dressed up. Right, her sister is a chief prosecutor, after all. Well, what brings you here? I'll warn you, I've been known to be a real stuck-up jerk. No, did I? No. Gotcha.
Oh, mm-hmm.
You should know stuff about that. You're reading the books now.
Yeah, trying to.
It's just Mr. Right here, Hey, don't blame me. We're just here to investigate a murder case. Murder? A body was found in this nasty bright red sports car in the parking lot. That would be my car. What of it? Oh,
Oh,
the plot thickens.
The plot does thicken.
What? Your car? Say one thing, she certainly can scream. So the body was found in your car? Go ahead, say it right. Yep. Open mouth, insert foot. You think I did it, don't you? After you went through all that trouble to help me last year, no less. No, we don't think you did it. I mean, it was my sister who stabbed him. Wait, no, she didn't do that. I mean, wait. So you're the chief prosecutor's little sister, then? Yes, sir. Emma Sky. It's nice to meet you again. No, that didn't sound forced at all. Now I remember, you've really grown. I'll admit it was a surprise for me, too. To think that my own car would become the scene of a murder. More surprising still, I'm being forced to prove my superior's guilt.
Hi, Susan.
Hi, Susan. Oh, I don't have that one up. Hold on. And twin?
Yeah.
I can understand. Wait, what did you say? Lana Sky is the chief prosecutor, the top prosecutor in the district. She can't prosecute herself, so I'll be the prosecutor at the trial tomorrow. Oh, lovely.
Oh boy.
You? Mr. Edgeworth. Be honest, it's a bit of a miracle I'm still here at all. What do you mean? Rumors. You've heard the rumors about me, haven't you? Miles Edgeworth. Hard to remember a time when there weren't rumors about this guy. Forging evidence, arranging false testimonies, illegal searches, you name it. Thanks to you, my innocence was established in the trial at the end of the last year. However, there are some who say I'm the one responsible for the current incident. What? That's crazy. Some people need very little excuse to think ill of others. It's a fact of life, impossible to stop. But some of them even go so far as to present me with toys like this. They think it's funny. Wait, is this? I'm confused. Toys? That bronze shield? There's got to be a story behind that one. Chief Prosecutor Sky? Yes, we first worked together on a case 2 years ago. It was my first big case. That's right, I remember. 2 years ago, I wasn't even a lawyer yet. Since then, I always felt that she was looking out for me. It appears I was mistaken. Mistaken? Why? I mean, I know she's not the warmest person, but I'm sure she felt some responsibility for you. Then why? Why did she stab someone in the trunk of my car? Not only that, she stabbed him with my knife.
Oh.
What? What? Mr. Edgeworth, your knife was a murder weapon? To be specific, it was a knife I keep in the toolbox in the trunk of my car. Ooh. Edgeworth's knife. Traces of victim blood, no prints. Edgeworth? What? Are you sure you didn't do it? Come on, can't you take a joke? You have a strange sense of humor, Mr. Wright.
Joking.
I'm wondering, what the heck is this? It has a big K on it. Prosecutors. Huh? What's that? It's the King of Prosecutors trophy. King of Prosecutors? It's a great honor. They send that shield to the best prosecutor each year. What? So? So that K, that's... K stands for King? Yeah, you got a problem with that? I didn't design the thing. King of Prosecutors. Kind of like Employee of the Month, only better. King of Prosecutors trophy added to the court record. Wow, this jacket is even lacier than his usual ones. Yeah, so he must be taking over the office or something. This must be his lucky trial jacket. Lucky jacket, right? I've never seen him wear it. I'm sure there's a story behind why it's in a frame. Maybe I'll be naughty and take a picture. I'm getting way too excited about this. My. What an amazing bouquet. Just right for Mr. Edgeworth. No kidding. Hey, there's a card on it. Back from the dead, Wendy. Wendy. I've heard that name somewhere before. Beside it, a giant steel samurai. Wow, I want one. Huh? There's something written on the bottom of his foot. Between a rock and a hard place, Wendy. Wendy, is she Mr. Edgeworth's fiancée? Oh.
What?
It's Wendy, oh, the guard at the movie studio. I don't think so. See, watch.
Oh.
Wendy Oldbag, thank you. Forgot her first name. Ooh, cute. What a pretty tea set. I go more for the instant tea bag myself. Amazing. The drawer below is filled with packets of tea leaves. They're all sorted by place of origin and flavor. Look at this royal blend. What an exquisitely splendid concoction. There's such a thing as taking a hobby too far. Hey, a chessboard. Not too up on my chest, but it looks like blue's a bit in a bit of a tight spot. Red knights have surrounded the blue pawn.
Sorry.
Huh? Those horses are mounted knights. Their swords have really sharp edges. And check out that poor pawn. His head is kind of spiky. Kind of reminds me of you. Mr. Edgeworth must be an avid chess player. What's wrong, Mr. Wright? Edges surrounding a pawn with spiky hair. Nah, it's nothing. Yeah, true. I got my own. A work desk. It's quite tidy, as one might expect. What a nice desk. Easy to use and easy on the eyes. It's polished so well I can see my own reflection.
Gumshoe.
Strange. Why did I just picture Detective Gumshoe? Maybe I'll take that name plaque as a souvenir. Don't. He'll sue you. Whoa, these are all case files. They're stacked up to the ceiling. There's even a ladder. Odd. Thought Edgeworth wasn't good with heights. He must have someone get them for him. Strange, why did I just picture Detective Gumshoe? He must study all these case reports so closely. He's so cool. Wouldn't say that if you saw him sweating bullets up on that ladder. Edgeworth has such a comfy sofa. Sofas like this make me want to curl up and take a nap. I bet he pores over his case files here until the wee hours of the morning. Then he takes off his jacket, rolls up his sleeves, and goes to sleep using his arms as a pillow. I don't believe it. She's actually daydreaming about Edgeworth working. Bet in the morning he has sofa hair and little creases in his cheek from the seams. He's so cool. Sofa hair is cool? Oh, that's a desk. Let's check the window. Whoa, what a view. Must be nice to have an office on the 12th floor. Guess you would feel important. Incidentally, were you about to jump out this window the time until... If were you to jump out this window, the time until impact with the ground would be... Got it! Approximately 3.23 seconds. That's handy to know. Oh. So basically this says you were the best of the best last year, huh? You can take that foolish grin elsewhere, right? I lost a day of work to receive that travesty. Huh? Why's that? I had to go to the police department to receive that broken shield. The police department? Yes, right next to the police station downtown. You've been there, haven't you? Where Detective Gumshoe works? Yeah. I was wondering something about your shield. Why is it broken? What does it matter? I've got more important things to worry about. Oh, right. Doesn't seem too concerned about his award, for better or for worse. Yesterday was a very busy day for the prosecutor's office. Maybe we should ask him more about yesterday. It's against my policy to discuss evidence with the defense, especially with you. Fair enough. He doesn't sound like you much. He doesn't like you much, does he, Mr. Wright? Nah, with Edgeworth it's never personal. It's all about winning tomorrow. I'm gonna try this. Say, Edgeworth, I was wondering about this. Mr. Wright, huh? What? Are you sure you should be showing that to Mr. Edgeworth? Oh, he'll take it for sure, won't he? I wish I could be on the same team as Mr. Edgeworth. But then my sister would be found guilty. If she sighs any deeper, I'm going to start getting depressed. Can you tell me more about yesterday, the day of the murder? Yesterday was the annual cleaning day at the prosecutor's office. Cleaning day? Working with the police department, we sort and file all evidence for solved cases. We call it evidence transferal. Wiping your hands of old cases, in other words. Oh, and another thing. Ceremony was held at the police department. There's an annual review and awards for outstanding police officers and prosecutors. And that's when you got the shield? I was at the police department yesterday afternoon. I got back here at 5:12. That's very precise. People like myself and Mr. Edgeworth pride ourselves on precision, Mr. Wright. No, I place little faith in my memory. The only thing I trust is solid evidence. Edgeworth's parking stub added to the court record. This is the parking stub from the underground lot. The murder took place around 5:15. So the murder happened right after you got back. What, right? I'd appreciate it if you direct that suspicious glare elsewhere. This guy. Excuse me, but is Mr. Edgeworth, anywhere on the premises? I'm Edgeworth. What is it? I'm here, sir, at the request of the chief, sir. I've got your report, sir. Report? What? Did you find new evidence in the case against Chief Prosecutor Sky? I don't like the way this conversation is going at all. Sky, sir? No, sir. No name of that kind, sir. Not in this report, sir. I think I just heard Edgeworth's lid blow. Edgeworth's lid isn't on very tight, is it? I made a clear request to the police department, did I not? I need to focus on the trial tomorrow, so don't bring me anything unrelated. Sir! I'm just following orders, sir. They told me to bring this to you. I wasn't aware of your... Give me your name. Yes, sir. Meekins, sir. Officer Meekins. Right, Officer Meekins. Take your report and leave. And good luck with that raise next month. Oh. But, sir, I didn't know. Poor guy. Looks like he was absent on the day they gave out brains and good luck. Right. Yes, sir? God, he caught me off guard. As you can see, I'm busy. You may leave now. Let's do what he says, Mr. Wright. Victim was a detective from the same department as that patrolman just now. Go down to the police department. You can ask more there. Thanks. Seems to have finally calmed down at least. Alrighty.
Oh, gosh.
Did you drop it?
Yes.
All over the place?
No.
Where'd it go?
One. It's over here with my foot.
Oh, I thought you were... No, scoop. I can get it for you. Or you can. Right, she didn't jump up and grab it.
Have it.
Yeah, I remember this guy. February 22nd, Police Department entrance. Phew, we're finally here. Why would they put the police department so far away from the prosecutor's office? Beats me, that almost took 30 minutes by taxi, and traffic wasn't even that bad. Police department, huh? I've only ever been here to criminal affairs next door. Hold on, what's that? Disturbing. Why does it undulate like that? Oh wait, I know. This is the Blue Badger. They're trying to make him the police mascot. Wow, Mr. Wright, sure know a lot about the police. Still, he does seem familiar somehow. Forget the Blue Badger. What's that next to him? Someone appears to be dancing with the Blue Badger. Uh-oh, he noticed me. He sure is running over here fast. Hey, pal! What are you doing here? That's my line, Detective Gumshoe. Specifically, why were you dancing over there? What? Well... At least he doesn't seem too busy. This is our chance to get information. Hey! I'll have you know I'm a very busy man, pal. Give you one word of advice, pal. Better not agree to defend the suspect in this case. Why not? Huh? Well, it's just that the chief prosecutor has confessed to the crime. It says she summoned the detective to the prosecutor's office and she killed him. But what if she's not telling the truth? Yes, well, no, come on, pal, there's plenty of evidence against her. What if the evidence was faked? Hey, pal, can I speak to you for a second? Huh? Me? Why is this little girl so peeved at me? She's a relative of the suspect. She's Lana Sky's sister. Whoa! Chief Prosecutor's little sister? Just please investigate this case carefully, okay? Scientifically. Yes, sir! Oh, by the way, you might want to keep your voices down. You don't want to...
Fine.
Alright. You don't want to be overheard using the words like faked. Huh? It's a sensitive issue with us these days. So, what are you doing here, Detective Gumshoe? Me? Oh, well, nothing, really. They kicked me out of criminal affairs. Aw. Detective Gumshoe, what did you do this time? What do you mean, this time? And what happened? I know things are busy right now. I mean, with my sister's case and all. It's true, we've never had a chief prosecutor murder anyone before. Only the highest ranked people are being let into the criminal affairs now. The lowest ranking guy there is our chief of detectives. They're not letting any of us rank and file detectives in at all. None of you? I know this is an important trial, but isn't that a little odd? So anyway, I thought I'd spend the day getting the Badger dance down pat. Isn't there anything else you could be doing? Chief of Police is directing this investigation, pal. And Officer Marshall was assigned to the underground parking lot. Officer Marshall. Now that I think about it, Emma did seem to know that Marshall guy. Patrolman in charge of the crime scene. It's unheard of, pal. I was wondering about that. What? The Dancing Blue Badger? It's my masterpiece. You made this, Detective Gumshoe? Chief threw together some designs and I just did my thing, pal. Nice work. It's battery powered so it can go anywhere. There's no switch so it just dances until the batteries die. Poor Blue Badger, fated to dance until he drops. Oh. Detective Gumshoe? What can you tell me about this? Huh? Hey, pal. This is a detective's ID card. Can't just keep that. You have to turn it into the police. It's people like you that get me into so much trouble all the time. Being Detective Gumshoe must drop his card a lot. Let's see. Bruce Goodman. Goodman. Sounds familiar. Nah, my mistake. But didn't you work together with him in criminal affairs? Whoa! Now I remember. Bruce Goodman. He's the victim. That's what I thought. Can you tell us more, Detective Gumshoe? So this ID card belonged to the victim? He was a detective like myself. Detective Bruce Goodman. Don't you think it's strange? I mean, why would the victim's ID card be lying on the ground where we found it? Well, Detective Goodman should have been at the police department yesterday. There was an evidence transferal for a case he handled 2 years ago. Evidence transferal? Mr. Edgeworth mentioned that too. But Detective Goodman was killed at the prosecutor's office. Well, that's the thing. It's hard to say this, but word is that Chief Prosecutor Sky called him out there to the parking lot. Oh, DL6? Again? No, that was the last case, DL6. Should have been. Because that was the one dealing with Mia Fey and their mom. Gotcha. Lana's confessing as much. Hey, that's it. That's the King of Prosecutors Award that Mr. Edgeworth got yesterday. Were you at the awards ceremony, Detective Gumshoe? Of course, pal. I got an award for diligence myself. Ah, congratulations. I was wondering, why is the award a shield? Why is it broken? Oh, there's a reason. I'll tell you what it is later. Apparently he's forgotten. But I was proud of Mr. Edgeworth for winning that award. Even with all the naysayers in the prosecutor's office. Naysayers? Must be because of the rumors. Found in Mr. Edgeworth's car, stabbed with Mr. Edgeworth's knife, huh? What would drive Chief Prosecutor Sky to do such a thing? Wait, I mean, sure, of course, someone else really did it. Someone who must have a grudge against Mr. Edgeworth. The car and the knife do seem a little too well organized to be a coincidence. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. What could have happened? We have to find out a little more about what's going on with Mr. Edgeworth. He's in a tough spot, again. Again? Well, it all started with the murder of that defense attorney, Hammond. Mr. Edgeworth was found innocent. Listen, pal, there have always been rumors about Mr. Edgeworth. Forging evidence, making deals with witnesses. Nothing outright, but there were always whispered rumors. Ever since he was accused of murder, no one's whispering. They're practically shouting. But there's no evidence against him. Well, Mr. Edgeworth has always had unusually strong ties to the department higher-ups. It's only natural that people would be suspicious. I had no idea he was under the gun. Anyway, this latest case has started a new rumor. People say the only reason he took this case is because he's aiming for the chief prosecutor position himself. What? But I know the truth, pal. Nobody wants to be the one who has to prosecute the chief prosecutor. Mr. Edgeworth is biting the bullet on this one. He's doing this for all of us. And that's all I know about that. I'm not officially on the case, you know. Thank you. Aren't you handling the case, Miss Detective Gumshoe? We met the guy who is... what was his name? The guy in the parking lot. That'd be Officer Marshall. He was appointed directly by the Chief of Police. Officer Marshall. He's some kind of Wild West sheriff or something? No, Jake Marshall's just a regular officer from West LA. For a moment there, I wasn't sure. Look, pal, let me try to make things a little easier for you. Show them this and they'll let you examine the crime scene. Maybe. Detective Gumshoe's letter of introduction added to the court record. I'll be surprised if this gets us anywhere. Just act like you're supposed to be there and nobody will look at you twice, pal. Oh, okay, that works. It's like the investigation is still going. I have to be getting back to the shop. Sorry, looks like I'll be stuck in this pit till the sun sleeps. I'll see you in my dreams tonight then, baby. Oh, still here? Hello. Nice surprised looks, didn't I mention? I've got a boyfriend in criminal affairs, too. Lady, you are a hoa. What happened to the security guard? Hey, what's wrong, Bambina? You're looking like a doggy that's lost its herd. Jake Marshall. Strange guy to put in charge of a crime scene. Would you mind reading this for me? What's this? I warn you, fan letters to me go right in the spittoon. Letter of introduction from Detective Gumshoe. May we investigate? Gumshoe? Oh, that old cowdog. He holding a birthday party or something? Huh? Look, where it should say letter of introduction, it says invitation. Ah, I think he just miswrote it. Wait, why am I getting all defensive here? No worries. This proves it's from Detective Gumshoe. Better than a blood test. Guess I'd better let you in then. Thank you, Officer Marshall. Oh, that's right. He's a patrolman, not a detective. Which reminds me. Hey, wait a sec. Isn't a crime scene supposed to be handled by a detective or higher? Well, folks. Clues are calling. Welcome to our gold strike. Be like the settlers. Strike out for lands unknown. Manifest destiny. Let's have a hootenanny. Note to self. Police investigations are like settling land. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say? Say I won't be needing this anymore. Crumpled and discarded. Officer Marshall, could you tell us more about the victim? Good men always die young. Remember that, partner. Could you be a little more specific? Bruce Goodman, he was a detective, right? Well, aren't you a feisty doggy there now? Detective Goodman was stabbed here at 5:15. Smiling Madonna told me the tale. I think he means a witness, Miss Angel Starr. One stab to the chest, a fine piece of work. Well, that's already counter to what she said. She said she stabbed him in the stomach.
Oh.
This here's the autopsy report. Death due to loss of blood, one knife wound, died within an hour and a half. 4 p.m. Was my sister involved with the victim in any way? Funny you should mention that, Bambina. Chief Prosecutor Sky and Detective Goodman have nothing in common at all. Nothing in common? They apparently worked together on a case a few years back. So there's no motive. Goodman wasn't a particularly gifted detective. It's one reason why he didn't do much work with the chief prosecutor. But my sister called the victim here on the day of the murder, right? Here, to this parking lot? So it seems. Like calling an unarmed man to a shootout at high noon. I don't mean to any offense, but... Officer Marshall, you're a patrolman, right? Not a detective. You calling me out, they shoot you for that in Texas. Huh? I was one of them fancy shoot detectives till 2 years ago, to tell you the truth. Oh, really? Now he tells me. You're a patrolman now, so how can you be in charge of a crime scene? Nothing gets by you, does it, Bambina? So why are you in charge? No reason. We're just short on hands right now. I'm keeping an eye out on the meantime. That's odd, though. Detective Gumshoe was saying he had nothing to do. Nothing important, at least. He's nothing but a sad old cow dog that can't find his tail. Maybe it's because he runs with that Edgeworth, eh? Edgeworth? That cow dog's been kicked out of this cattle run by order of the chief of police. Just he don't realize it yet. Detective Gumshoe kicked out of the investigation? Alright. What them? Oh, I thought you were telling me to look at something.
I gotta do some ibuprofen.
You gotta go get some ibuprofen? I'll go up for a minute. Alright. We'll be right back.
I need to get some ibuprofen.
Gotcha. Well, go up. I can use the restroom anyway. Yes, they are. I don't think I'm gonna be drinking this.
What?
Wine.
Oh.
Put that away. I'll put this away too. Chair likes spinning.
Yes, it does. What? Hello? Over here. Bed.
Come
Get in your bed.
here. Get in the bed.
Get in your bed.
I'm not giving you anything.
Bed. Get in your bed.
Ugh.
It is not. We're not giving you bones.
Willow, bed. Bed. Lay down. Okay. Sorry.
You're fine.
Whatever. Oh yeah, that's a splitter. Okay. Thank you. Oh, I think we examined all this, so slide on over here. Looks like a cell phone. Scientific analysis would suggest this belonged to the victim. Can't think of anyone else it could belong to. What's so scientific about that? Should we check it out? Check it out. Right, let's check it out. This phone's still on the redial screen. Redial? Willow, lay down. You're like a cat. Mr. Wright, most phones keep a record of all the calls you've made and received. You just press the blue button to display the last number you called. Convenient, isn't it? I'm surprised you didn't know about that. Sorry to disappoint you, but even I know about things like redial. Huh? Oh, I'm sorry. It's just you never know with people from your generation. Whatever, let's check this phone out. Gotta see who the owner of this phone called last. Note to self, a defense attorney doesn't think first, he just presses the button. Hey, that song. I know that song. Hey, what's going on over there? Ah, oh, so sorry. I see you, partner. You pressed redial on that there phone, didn't you? Well, yeah. Whose phone is this, anyway? It was on the ground over there. Whose is it? That belongs to Chief Prosecutor Sky. What? It's my sister's. She apparently dropped it when she was taken into custody right after the crime. Look, the last call was made right when the murder occurred. Looks like she was fixing to call someone. Except she only spoke for a few seconds, according to this. Who'd she call? No idea. Sorry, partner. Now I got a question for you, partner. I heard a phone ring just now. One of those newfangled ringtones. Oh, that? Oh, I'm sorry. That was my phone. What? Your phone? Yeah, it's kind of strange, but someone called me right as we picked up the other phone, a wrong number. I hope you're not lying. They shoot you for that in Texas, partner. Uh-oh, I've incited the wrath of the Lone Star Patrolman. Cell phone added to the court record. Property of Lana Sky, last made at 5:18 on the day of the murder. What's this? Looks like a note of some sort. Look, something's written on it. 67S 122. You're right. Let's see. 67S 122. There's a name printed on the paper above that. Goodman. Maybe it fell out of his pocket when he's killed. Well, so what does it mean, Mr. Wright? How am I supposed to know? Note to self, for deductive reasoning, go to Edgeworth, not Wright. I'm sure Edgeworth wouldn't know what this means either. Goodman's note, add to the court record. Oh, is it upside down? Oh, 221, got it. SL9. A block. This area is reserved for prosecutors. Defense attorneys are relegated to B block. I dream of the day when I will be able to park my car here. I go over to B Block and buy my hamburgers from you, Mr. Right.
Jeez.
Not planning on giving up my job that soon. Appears to be the car where the body was found. Looks like the lock on the trunk is busted. Crime took place in the underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Body was found in the trunk of my subordinate's car. But a luxury car, it just screams, I have money to burn. Yeah, prosecutors get the big bucks. Sorry, did I hit you? Oh wait, sorry. So there's no connection between Detective Goodman and my sister. That's correct, but there's a goldmine of evidence against her. Prospector tomorrow is none other than Edgeworth himself. Yes, she is. I am too. She worked all day, though. I slept. Because I could.
We'll both have the day off tomorrow together.
I'm afraid your sister's fate is decided, Bambina. Many condolences. Officer Marshall. Yeah, Bambina? How can you say that? You and my sister, you were... Is there something between this cop and her sister that I don't know about? I apologize, Bambina. Something must have gotten to me. Maybe it's that dry wind that's blowing through the prospector's office. Dry wind or ill will, something's up to something here, but who? Suspicions about Mr. Edgeworth. Jeez. Suspicions about Mr. Edgeworth have been flying around for nearly 2 years now. Forged evidence and arranged testimonies, you mean? He was unbeatable because he did whatever it took to win. Unbeatable, that is, until he met you. The rumors are just rumors, aren't they? These are prosecutors we're talking about. Evidence is everything to them. Follow the rumors about Edgeworth to their source. You find one person. Fair enough. Follow the rumors about Edgeworth to their source. You find one person. But they're off limits. Untouchable, you might say. One person? Who? Hate to say this, but it's your sister, Bambina, Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye. What? My sister? Edgeworth couldn't wrestle all those cattle by himself. Some people load their guns with bullets, some people load them with deals. What, you're saying Edgeworth was making deals to win trials? Where there's gunshots, there's bound to be bullets. That's what the old-timers say. There's a big old secret hidden around here somewhere, everyone knows it. Is that why Detective Gumshoe was taken off the case? Did they target him because he was closest to Edgeworth? So, well, how are we doing, Mr. Wright? Guess we've got some clues. We have an autopsy report, a note from the victim, and a cell phone. So you think we'll be okay? Well, the only thing that's still bothering me is that Lana's confessing to the crime. She says she did it. No problem. I can guarantee that she's not the criminal. Oh, by the way, Emma. Yes? I know that song your phone plays when it rings. What? It's the Steel Samurai theme song, isn't it? A popular TV show for kids? The phone that rang earlier wasn't mine. It was yours. At 5:18, just after the murder took place, your sister called you, didn't she, Emma? I'm sorry. Can you tell me what you talked about? She hung up right away. I see. Detective is murdered, and the suspect is the top prosecutor in the district. I've got a bad feeling about this. Like, maybe I still don't know everything that went on here.
To be continued.
To be continued! Day 2. Trial Former. February 23rd, 9:34 a.m. District Court. Defendant Lobby. Number 2. How'd the investigation go yesterday, Mr. Wright? Frankly, there are still a lot of gray areas. Or rather, the whole thing is one big gray area. Don't worry about me. No matter what the outcome, I'm ready to accept my fate. I believe in you, sis. Mr. Wright, let me offer you a word of advice. Yes? A defense attorney should never believe their client. The defendant is called to trial because they are suspected of wrongdoing. Never forget that. Miss Sky, you remind me a lot of Mia. But there's one decisive difference between you and her. And that is, you're not a defense attorney. I believe it's almost time for a trial. Good luck, Mr. Wright. First trial without a Faye helping me. No one's going to bail me out this time. I'll be alone in there. So I have to discover the truth all by myself. Let's do it, Mr. Wright. I'll be with you the whole way. Well, never mind about being alone. February 23rd, 10
Nobody
a.m.
wants to see that.
What? Just cleaning.
Wants to see that.
Hey, at least he's doing it on his blanket, not ours. The court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. Defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Edgeworth. Been 2 months, but I haven't been in a courtroom since his trial. I hope that personal feelings will not be part of the proceedings today, Mr. Wright. I will choose a path I think is right, regardless of what those around me might say. The judgment to be made here is in our hands, not those of anyone else. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement, please. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky has committed an unpardonable crime. Not only this, but she was rash enough to commit it in the prosecutor's office lot. Wow, he's much more forceful in person. I suddenly feel like confessing to everything. However, she will now pay for her rashness with her life. There was a witness to her crime. A professional witness. Well then, call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. Prosecution calls its first witness, Miss Angel Starr, to the stand. The cough-up queen? Haven't I seen you somewhere? You ordered the caviar lunch, right? Ho ho! Caviar! I've never eaten caviar before. Judge is really wolfing it down. And for you, I have a Fiesta Bowl. Thanks. Will the witness state her name and profession? And you, sir? Did you order the fingerprint lunchbox? It's too early for lunch. Your name and profession, please. Well, Your Honor, how does it taste? So this is why everyone raves about caviar. It's so tasty it hurts. I always thought caviar would taste like pickled tapioca. The heck does pickled tapioca taste like? Name, profession, now. Me? Name is Angel Starr. Don't go forgetting it. I find myself running Lunchland these days. Is that what you wanted me to say, Mr. Edgeworth? Very well, witness. Please describe the incident to us. Prosecution will wait. I'm not finished eating. Hurry it up. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. As we know, we usually call on the police to provide a description of the crime. Your Honor, as Mr. Edgeworth has said to the court, I am a professional. What exactly does that mean? Until 2 years ago, Miss Angel Starr was a special investigator with the police. She was a first-rate homicide detective. What? Miss Starr was a detective? Aha! I know who you are! Cough up! Cough up Queen Angel Starr, Your Honor. Long time no see. Very well. You may continue with the description, Miss Starr. Just who is this lady? I might have the court's attention over here. Parking lot at the prosecutor's office is divided into 2 blocks. A block is for the prosecutor's office personnel. B block is for visitors and clients. A chain divider separates the 2 blocks. Suppose that's to keep visitors from taking up prosecutor spaces, yes? Crime took place by a car in the back of A block, in the car's trunk. The killer stabbed the victim with this knife and went to drive the body out. Fortunately for her, there was a witness and an arrest was made on the spot. And who was this valiant witness? Why, it was me, Your Honor. Witness, did you see the very moment of the crime? Of course, Your Honor. Immediately after that, I apprehended the chief prosecutor. Seems rather cut and dry, doesn't it? Well, Mr. Wright, I can't agree on principle, Your Honor. Seems that some poor losers are unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honor. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining? If you can. Then give them your worst, Miss Starr. Wait, are they talking about me?
Oy vey.
Somehow I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend when I sensed something. Perhaps it was my finely honed detective's intuition at work. Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. Chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand, and then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. Bringing a lunchbox to your boyfriend? How touching. As you can see, there is no room for doubt. Key point of your testimony seems to be nothing other than the point of the knife which you saw being stabbed into Detective Goodman. So, how does it feel to be so utterly crushed? I'm still thinking about that. It's merely a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. How'd you know? I respect the prosecutor's basic abhorrence of crime, yet their methods are ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy. The lunch lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted. Given that they are used to erasing inconvenient evidence at their whim, killing off a detective that knew too much is merely an extension of that. Miss Starr, do you have something personal against prosecutors? I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator. If I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one. Laid off? She was fired. To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I am a pro, as you know. My testimony is unbiased and flawless. Very well. You may continue. This boyfriend, he's a detective? Not that boyfriend, the security guard. That boyfriend? You have several? Yes. This boyfriend, that boyfriend, and the other boyfriend. Care to join? The yet another boyfriend position is still open for applicants. You a hoa! I'll stick with the lunches, thanks. Note to self, the judge had to think before replying. Security guard room is in the lot in A block. It's up on the second level so you can see everything from there. That would be the room with the security sign. Incidentally, did you bring your lunchboxes by car? Since I'm a visitor now, I parked in B block. So she was in B block when she witnessed the crime. By garish car, you mean Mr. Edgeworth's car, yes. Mr. Edgeworth? Incidentally, the knife with which the victim was stabbed was also Mr. Edgeworth's. Wasn't it? Indeed it was. What an odd case this is. The person you saw, you are sure it was the defendant? I saw her from no further than 30 feet away. I am certain it was her. She's telling the truth, we're doomed. Let's just do what we can. Even when we don't have any proof, we can always nitpick. Witness, in your testimony you clearly stated the following. Prosecutors are nothing more than worms. Ergo, you are a biased witness. You might want to keep those silly opinions to yourself in the future, rookie. Huh? Rookie? Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me. I'll fry you like a fritter, crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside. That was inspiring. I believe I've heard that tagline elsewhere. You could cry plagiarism. I may be relegated to the lowly post of lunch lady, but my instincts are honed. A photograph? You took this? The moment I witnessed the crime, my reflexes took over and snap, I took a picture. In fact, one of my lunchboxes is rigged with a camera. I suppose that's more exciting than just hanging around your neck. Witness, why am I only seeing this photograph just now? You think I'd show it to you, a prosecutor? Think again. My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs. Well, this is most certainly the defendant. Uh-oh, that is unmistakably Lana Skye. What was the defendant doing at the time? The prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. You witnessed this? You saw Miss Sky stab the victim with the knife. As I've already said, yes. I swear it on my finest salmon swirl lunchbox. I'm sure that is a fine lunch. But isn't that odd? Look at this photograph. This is the photograph you took the very moment of the crime, is it not? Then why is Miss Sky not holding a knife? Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Objection. That had to be the weakest objection ever, Edgeworth. Yet it was still stronger than your ever-feeble mind, Mr. Wright. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. This was taken the moment after the stabbing. And how can you tell that? Blood splatter. Huh? See the dark crimson stains on the chief prosecutor's coat? But it's a black and white photograph. Ah, yes, it's hard to tell, but this could be blood. Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here. No problem? Except you. Mr. Wright, are you going to just sit there and take that kind of abuse? You got a better idea? Wait, that contradicts what the witness said in her testimony. Namely, that she took the picture the moment she witnessed the crime. Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies. That's it? If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. Good advice. I'm not sure I understood it, but good advice. Didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Sky was cold calculating like a robot. She killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder. Premeditated? How do you know? Look at the chief prosecutor's hands in that photograph. Well, are those gloves? Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves. Rawr! These gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation. Yeah, but not really. Premeditated murder, a serious offense. Witness, add this to your testimony. Murder was planned, the rubber gloves prove it. Not if she randomly grabbed Edgeworth's knife out of his car. Witness, do you know what this is? Are you trying to test me? I sell lunchboxes for a living, you know. That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk. Indeed, it is my knife. What's with this case? Bloody murder weapon. The defendant is the chief prosecutor for the district, right? Defense has a request. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony. What's that, rookie? In your testimony, you stated that Lana Sky planned this murder. And that's why she was wearing those special gloves. Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning. However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing, the murder weapon? Oh. This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon. Ugh. Yep.
Yup.
Order, order, order. Great, now the tide is turning in our favor. Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister's as good as free. Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. What? I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned. Not over such a trifling detail. But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory. Ah, prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. The defendant, Lana Sky, murdered a detective with a knife. That is the only thing the prosecution needs to prove, nothing else. Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now. But you know as well as I do she planned on killing him. It was planned. If it wasn't... I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again. Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought. How dare you? My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated. Really now. Lana Sky intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. Sure, the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again. Victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. This sounds a lot like premeditation, doesn't it? So if I ordered a pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy? In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness. She already buried herself.
He was only stabbed once.
You say she stabbed him again and again, but you couldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. With my moss surprise. I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Starr. What do you mean? I shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. The autopsy report states that death was due to a loss of blood from one stab wound. Aha! You're right. Good show, Mr. Edgeworth. What a hunk. He's my hero, really. What about my objection? No one noticed? Well, witness? You got the crime scene set, right? Oh, thanks. I always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood. But now I realize that such mistakes are possible. So, you're saying you mistook something for blood? When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. Splattered blood from her victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice. Tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify. Oh, God, this lady is so full of bullshit. Miss Starr, I demand an explanation. The witness is clearly not suited for detective work. What? The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. And you've proved it yourself with this photograph. Huh? But that can't be. Only a professional lunch lady could be so utterly careless. Oh, he's shitting on her now.
Yeah.
Congratulations, perhaps you finally found your true calling in life. Ow.
Jeez.
Harsh words, but good. In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails. What was my objection? Chopped liver? But it was there, a scarf. No, not that, but something red, really. Well now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business. What? Very well, witness. Continue your testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that. Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least. Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her testimony. Most important part? The part where your sister stabs the victim. This next testimony might just be the moment of truth. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Ah, yes. When I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. Chief Prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Starr, resistance is futile. Quite determined about the scarf, aren't you? I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. That's me, Angel Starr. That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is a kind of snake. Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten. No thanks. Note to self, Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake bites. Chief Prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts weren't in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. Oil drum? Hard to imagine. Oh, she's beautiful, but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Rawr. Very well, Mr. Wright. Cross-examination, if you will. After murder, yeah. Quickly caught her. Here we are. You say quickly. Were you close to the suspect? As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time. Maybe I should press her with more details. Press her. Yeah, because if she was in Lot B, how the hell did she get over there quickly?
Yeah.
There's a partition. I'd like to see us on the floor plans just to be safe. Lunchland car was... She was a visitor, thus she was parked in Block B. So you witnessed the murder from here. That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes? Is that correct, Miss Starr? Yes, that's right. But there was a chain-link fence in front of you. I went over it, of course. Amazing, the cough-up queen, lunch lady athlete, indeed. Would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence, so she couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast. Yeah, that fence was about 9 feet high, too. So how did Miss Sky not get away? She mentioned the muffler? What exactly did she say? If I remember exactly, I would have told you in my testimony. Cheeky. Anyway, all I heard her say was the word muffler. Just that one word? So, what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but to someone else. Yes, Chief Prosecutor was talking on her phone. Her phone? She can't mean... By phone, do you mean... this cell phone discovered at the crime scene? Yes, ultimately. Ultimately? My memory. It's like a salmon heading upstream, you see. No, the court doesn't see, Miss Starr. Chief Prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall.
Jake, go lay down.
On the wall? That's right. Near the car, there was an emergency phone on the wall. Jake! Go! Go! Jake, go. Go lay down. Apparently it was out of order, and so she used her cell phone?
Soon, buddy.
Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day. Good witnessing, witness. Good witnessing? Whatever happened to good testifying? You should, of course, add this to your testimony. Things I do to please this rookie defense attorney. Saw it all, how she tried to use the phone on the wall but had to use her cell instead. Do you think you could restate your testimony for the court? Aha! I was going to ask the same thing. I'll only say this one time, so listen close, rookies. Chief Prosecutor stabbed the victim and ran behind the partition. Then she picked up the emergency phone on the wall, but it was out of order. So she pulled her own cell phone out of her pocket. During that time, you climbed over the chain link fence. And then when I boldly grabbed her arm, the Chief Prosecutor hung up her phone. You saw her doing this? What is it, Mr. Wright? Yeah.
We should see that she was trying to use the phone.
Yeah. Miss Starr, I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Miss Lana Sky. Witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unmarred by personal bias. Well, who would have thought you would be my knight in shining armor, prosecutor? You who, together with the chief prosecutor, kicked me out 2 years ago. Well, Miss Starr, this is a fatal contradiction with your testimony. How do you explain this? I don't know what you're talking about. Mess with me, and I'll make you cough it all up. Let's look at the floor plans. You said you witnessed the crime from this point. However, if that's true, you couldn't possibly have seen Miss Sky making that phone call. I believe you saw you see what I'm getting at. That emergency phone was on the backside of this partition. If indeed you were in B block, you couldn't have seen it. What? Warg! Order. What is the meaning of this? It's simple, Your Honor. She's not coughing up lunch, she's coughing up lies. Grr. That's quite a claim, Mr. Wright. Perhaps you will allow me a question. Tell us exactly what lie this witness has told the court. Here's where the counterattack begins. I can't afford to get this wrong. The witness lied about... yeah, what she saw. She lied about what she saw. In other words, she didn't see Miss Sky using that emergency phone. It does seem hard to imagine how she could have. Very logical. What's the matter, Starr? Got your lunchbox? Mr. Wright, I hate to bother you while you were celebrating your victory, but why would Miss Starr lie like that? Huh? Why would she say that my sister had tried to use the phone but failed? Doesn't make any sense. Why lie about something so insignificant? Oh, dang, she's right. I mean, maybe she really did see her try to use the emergency phone. See no room for doubt here. You ordered the patooey on rice, right? Mr. Wright, and I thought you had something here. What? I did. Oh.
What?
I wanted to... Sorry, my bad. I wanted the lunchbox because it's for an achievement.
Oh.
I think it's the... What is it? Yeah, order of events. Delighted about the order of events. This guy used that emergency phone before the murder. I see. I hadn't thought of that. That took the wind out of her sails. Mr. Wright, I hate to bother you with what... while you're celebrating your victory, but why would anyone use the emergency phone before the murder? Huh? Just when you think he can't sink any lower, he amazes us. I applaud you, Mr. Wright. You ordered the orange peel lunchbox, right? Oh, god damn it. Really? It's for the lunchbox, yeah. Okay. Where is she saw it? Yeah, I want the lunchboxes. This guy tried to use the emergency phone, but it was out of order. What is significant about this fact? Nothing. Therefore, it would be pointless for Miss Starr to lie about it. Pointless to lie, I see. But say the witness did actually see Miss Sky using the emergency phone. It would mean Miss Starr witnessed the crime from a different location. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Different location? Now that's a pointless lie if I ever heard one. Before you call my lie pointless, at least let me tell it! Let me ask a question to our clever wordsmith, Mr. Wright. Just where was the witness when she saw the crime? Place from where Miss Starr witnessed the crime. I think it's the security room.
That would be my guess.
This is the only place where she could have been. The security guard room? Indeed, the security room, yeah. It's built on the second floor so you can see the entire lot. She would have been able to see the emergency phone from there. But why there? There are many other places where she could have seen the phone. Not in this case, Your Honor. Witness not being part of the prosecutor's office couldn't park in A block. The only place where she could have seen the crime in the back of the partition is here.
Alrighty, have a good night.
Alright, Susan. Have a good one.
We probably won't be on much longer anyway.
No. Remember in your testimony you said you brought a lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room, yes? Well, Miss Starr, how many years have I been getting the better of men? To think that the tables could be turned. Today a man has got the better of Angel Starr. Order! Order! Witness! What have you done? You used to be a detective. You should know better. I'm not turning back. The guilty will be punished. And I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails. Guilty? Is she talking about Miss Sky? Mr. Wright, doesn't this strike you as odd? Why did Miss Starr lie? It doesn't make sense. Huh? She could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. It wouldn't change anything. Exactly. This photograph tells all. It was the defendant who stabbed the victim. That truth still stands. It still stands? I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth. What? If a witness is found to be lying, they're guilty of perjury. She knows this. She wouldn't risk that without a good reason. Tell us what her reason was, Mr. Wright. Huh? Me? Who else? Mr. Wright, let's review what we know. Miss Starr witnessed the crime from the security guard station. But she lied and said she saw it from B block. She has a picture from B block. Must make a vital difference. But what? What would change? Ow. Changes the distance between her and the scene of the crime. Yeah. My condolences, Mr. Wright, but look at this. But one look at the floor plans and it's quite clear. Distance between the scene of the crime and the guard station is 30 feet. I don't see how that would change with what she sees. What she saw is not in question here. What matters is the time it would take her to reach the scene of the crime. Miss Starr, you witnessed the crime from the security guard station. Now how long did it take you to go from there to the scene of the crime where you arrested Miss Skye? Well, witness? Yes? You ordered the squid wheels, right? Quality of my lunches has gone from low to inedible. I was bringing a PB&J lunch with fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend. Boysenberry for the boyfriend. He wasn't in the station, so I waited. I witnessed the crime from the glass-walled station. And before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running towards the scene. But the door was locked. I couldn't open it. Jesus. So I had to go through the visitors' parking in B block. That's quite a detour. Probably took me at least 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime. 5 minutes? This changes things considerably. But it was that woman over there in the defendant's chair who stabbed him. I know it. I have photographic evidence. I swear it. I swear it on my fine plastic spork. You have a point, and the spork is a wonderful invention. Would you like another caviar lunch? Absolutely. Uh-oh. Mr. Wright, you have to do something. Do I have any evidence to stop this?
Objection!
5 minutes between witnessing the murder and the arrest. Think about it. You could make pasta in that amount of time, if you like it al dente. Got lunchboxes that tie pasta into knots, rookie. A 5-minute blank. Isn't that strange? Strange? If you were a criminal, what would you do with 5 minutes, Your Honor? Well, I guess I'd flee the scene. Hey! Don't get the wrong idea, But you have the instincts of a killer. You would run, but this time was different. This guy dawdled at the scene of the crime. She even had her picture taken. No true criminal would act this way. It's inconceivable. Yarg! Well, it seems we've come to the end of this testimony. Witness has a grudge against the defendant and a blank in her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, is the next witness ready to go? Unfortunately, I appear to have overestimated this witness on account of her professional history. We did it! We screwed that can shut, Mr. Wright! That was too close. I'm afraid that the Cough-Up Queen has been dethroned. And with that, court is adjourned. Mr. Edgeworth, you ordered the squid wheels, right? That's the one she tried to foist off on me. For her to not take the defense team's leftovers. Anything else to say? I might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence. What was that? Is this another one of her trick lunchboxes? My apologies, but we have no further questions to ask of you, Miss Starr. Ah. Is this your jumbo lunchbox? Woohoo! Triple-decker! Out of deference to the witness's determination, I'll allow one more testimony. Let's hear about this decisive evidence. Like the Lunchland motto says, you won't be disappointed. What's she going to pull out of her lunchbox this time? I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene. And now, to the matter of the victim's shoe, did I not bring this up? 2 types of blood were found on this shoe. One was, of course, the victim's, and the other blood type matched that of the defendant, Miss Lana Skye. This shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence. What? There was blood found on that shoe? Try Lunchland for all your lunch and decisive evidence needs. Witness, what's the meaning of this? Why is this the first time I've ever heard of this evidence? Simple. As I've already said, I don't trust you with evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. That's why I took the liberty of investigating this myself. And you had blood tests performed? Didn't I mention? I have 3 boyfriends in forensics. Jesus Christ. In any case, Your Honor, I can't accept this as evidence. What? You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1, no evidence should be shown without the approval of the police department. In other words, this shoe is illegal evidence, at least for the time being. Is that right, Mr. Wright? Seems so. Edgeworth sure is celebrating. Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. Don't forget, I used to be a detective. As I mentioned previously, this shoe has already been tested by a member of the forensics department. As you can see, it was approved by the police department as of today. Even the general public can produce official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Is that right, Mr. Wright? Seems so. Edgeworth is looking pretty sullen. Could at least study some evidence law, really. Prosecution's complaints notwithstanding, appears that this evidence satisfies the first rule of evidence law. However, seems you have yet another count against you, witness. Anything to ensure that the guilty are properly judged. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. Why'd you lie about those 5 minutes? I guess you could say I just wanted people to look at the results. The results? How many times do I have to say this? I saw the chief prosecutor stab the victim before my very own eyes. Compared to that, a 5-minute blank means nothing. Why didn't you just tell the truth? Don't make me laugh. We're dealing with the most untrustworthy of the vile lot known as prosecutors. Falsified evidence, arranged testimonies, erasing and manipulating evidence. When you fight monsters, you need to use every trick in the book. This is when the suspect is admitting she did it? But false testimony is the most despicable crime of all, Miss Starr. Let's just get this over with. And you found this shoe at the scene of the crime? I detained the chief prosecutor and notified the police department. Wanted to make myself useful while I was waiting for the police to arrive. So like an ill-trained pooch, you snuck off with a shoe. I was afraid someone would erase the chief prosecutor's crime. The shoe was my secret weapon if that should happen. See this fashionable basket I have here? It carries more than lunchboxes, gentlemen. Happy for you and your lunchbox bag, really. In any case, you removed valuable evidence from the scene of the crime. Now tell us what you did next. So you brought it to the forensics department? If you're going to submit something as evidence in court, you need it proved. To do that, evidence must be analyzed by a forensics expert. She got away with her little coup because she used to be a detective. The shoe does appear to have bloodstains on it. Well, the man was stabbed, after all. That blood belonged to the victim, Detective Gumshoe? Defective, my bad.
Goodman.
What did I say?
Gumshoe.
Oh, Detective Goodman, my bad.
Gumshoe's not dead.
He's not here right now. As I said, there were 2 types of blood found on the shoe. I'd be sad if he was murdered.
Mm-hmm.
Can't say for sure the blood belonged to the defendant without a blood test. Claim to know something about blood tests, rookie? Huh? Well, speak up. Well, blood comes in 4 types, A, B, O, and AB. However, can't tell from a blood test whether a murder was committed in cold blood. That's just a figure of speech, Mr. Wright. Actually, we can differentiate between millions of types with all the blood tests out there, which means that we can more or less narrow any sample of blood down to just one person. Or so I hear. That's pretty specific. If I had a little more time, I would have gotten DNA test results. But they said that there's very little doubt it could be anyone but Miss Lana Skies. So the suspect's blood was found on the victim's shoe. That ties her directly to the death of Detective Goodman. I was afraid he was going to say that. I can't let this evidence go through without a fight. You ordered the peppered fish guts, right? Some like it hot, Mr. Wright. Some, like your client, she's in enough hot water to make a whole vat of soup. Mr. Wright, do you or don't you have a problem with the shoe? A problem? This is critical. Is there a problem with the victim's shoe? If I'm not imagining things, I'd say there is one critical problem with this evidence, a clear contradiction. That gleam in your eyes. You're still young, rookie. I'd give you a peppered fish gut now, but you couldn't take the heat, could you? It's contradictory about the victim's shoe. Show us the problem with this evidence. Why is there blood on the shoe? On the bottom of the shoe? I wonder if you noticed there's blood on the bottom of the shoe. Don't mess with me, rookie. Or it'll be your blood on the bottom of my shoe. Indeed, there is quite a bit of blood on the bottom of this shoe. It makes sense. The victim was stabbed with a knife. What could possibly be contradictory about the blood on the bottom of his shoe? Problem lies in the footprint. The footprint? Note that the bottom of the victim's shoe is covered in blood. Then, isn't it strange? Why weren't there any bloody footprints found by the scene of the crime? Aha! As you can see, there were no traces of any such footprints at the scene of the crime. That contradicts your claim about the shoe. This picture only shows part of the floor, so there could have been bloody footprints. Then where are they, Mr. Edgeworth? Because we checked the scene and found nothing of the sort. Order, order, order. Well, witness? What? Huh? Great going, Mr. Wright, but it's true that the lack of a footprint is a contradiction. But then we have to ask why there wasn't a footprint. Oh, that's true. There has to be a reason why there wasn't a footprint. Think, Mr. Wright, think. Hey, I don't know why it's not there. Oop, wrong thing. I'm just good at finding contradictions. What? I see. Now I get it. Get what? Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. But she slipped. There is one vital hint to the truth in her testimony. What are you talking about? Think back to when she told us about apprehending the suspect. Chief Prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. Leopard woman, rawr. I thought that was a strange thing for the normally cool-headed chief to do. No kidding. Now, witness, allow me to ask a very simple question. This oil drum, was it empty? Oh, it washed away the footprints. Oh, that, I'm not sure I like your attitude, Mr. Edgeworth. Though apparently you're not the slowest conveyor belt in the lunchbox factory. Witness, well, was the oil drum empty? Oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water. Water? What does that mean? Still don't get it, Mr. Wright? Do you want to know the reason she knocked it over? The real reason? Aha! You don't mean... Yes, the suspect knocked over that oil drum for one reason and one reason alone. To erase the bloodstains that would become evidence against her. Warg! That ties things up quite nicely. Bloodstains left on the victim's shoe tie her quite clearly to this murder. Then after the deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum to erase the telltale signs. Why, that's a prosecutor's specialty, erasing evidence. That reminds me, Miss Skye's right hand was hurt. Didn't she say she cut herself when she stabbed him? So that's when my sister's blood got on the shoe? Well, I see no reason to prolong this trial. Mr. Wright, do something, please. What can I do? Your sister has confessed the crime and she tried to conceal it. But... Enough. There is no need for further debate. The verdict, Your Honor. Very well. But Angel Star is on the prosecution's side. She could have been lying about the water. This court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Skye. Little girl, what did you just say? Huh? Me? Did you just say that I, Lana Star, was on the prosecution's side? Well, yeah, you are. You're saying my sister hid evidence by erasing the bloody footprints. Well, I thought you'd had your fill, but here you are demanding a second helping. Another lunchbox. A lunchbox called evidence. Wait, witness, don't tell me you have something else. The time for deliberations is past. Any further comments and you will be held in contempt of court. Your threats don't scare the cough up, Queen. Look at this. Photograph? I had it just in case anyone had the gall to suggest that the white shoe didn't belong to the victim. I see no room for error in this evidence. Mr. Wright, wait. Look at the asphalt in this photo. Hey, it's clearly wet. Erasing the last trace of doubt from the court's mind. Immediately after the murder, the crime scene was washed with water. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I guess I couldn't help after all. It's not your fault. I knew I couldn't win this case from the beginning. And it seems that this is what your sister wanted anyway. Sorry, Mia. Right, wet or not, don't be so quick to throw in the towel. Yeah. Did you notice something?
No.
Well, you'll see it here in a minute. I did. Get yourself up off the asphalt, take another good look. Don't give up, not until the bitter end. This is the last piece of evidence. Very well. This time I'd like to declare a verdict for good.
Objection!
Yep. Your Honor, wait. What is it with you people? Can't I hand down my verdicts in peace anymore? Whatever it is, can't wait? No, it can't. Then it will be too late. Look at this photograph, the last one submitted. Trial isn't over until we give each piece of evidence proper consideration. So, right. Are you saying there's a problem with this latest piece of evidence? Yeah, I'll think later. Yeah, there's a problem. Right or wrong, I've got to go ahead with this. I suppose since we've come this far, we should give every claim a fair shake. Very well, Mr. Wright. To the court, the problem in this photograph. The problem is in this photograph is here. What's this? There's something poking out of the car's muffler. Wait just a moment, Mr. Edgeworth. Your Honor, you just said muffler. However, I see no trace of a muffler or scarf of any kind in this photograph. A muffler is also a part on a car or motorcycle, Your Honor. Just think of it as part of the exhaust system, a pipe. I see, and I see. What's that suspicious-looking cloth sticking out of the car's muffler? So what if there's something sticking out of the muffler? What does that have to do with this case? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Sorry, Miss Starr, but it's not going to be that easy. In fact, you've already told us why this is important to the case. You said as much in your testimony. What? Let's hear what Mr. Wright has on his mind. Tell us what you... Is it the cell phone? Yeah.
Yeah.
Miss Starr, recall your testimony for the court. Ah, yes. When I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's why it had me confused in my earlier testimony. Muffler. Arg! Yarg! Could it be the muffler you heard mentioned? Was actually this exhaust pipe? If so, that means this piece of cloth is vital evidence. Oh. Whoa! Rawr. Well, seems we will have to suspend the proceedings. Suspend? I find myself wondering about that piece of cloth. If we leave any question unanswered here, we do a disservice to the law. Have the car at the crime scene inspected at once and bring me that cloth. Verdict will wait until after we've seen all the evidence. Agreed? I suppose so. Oof, that was close. Well, we made it, at least for now. This court will adjourn for a 30-minute recess. It's lunchtime, after all. He's still hungry? Alright. We can stop now.
Yes.
Alright.
No good.
Save it. Okay. I have to get out of this. There we go. Okay. So, we will stop it there for the time being. We'll have to see you all next time. We're getting there. Slowly but surely. You all have a good night.
Have a good night, guys.
Peace, everybody.
See you later.
Bye.